everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with my favorites. So today I figured I'd show you guys a little bit more into who I am by showing you some of my favorite books of all time. Now I just got home from work and it's like 14 degrees outside, so this is gonna be fun. I'm probably gonna forget something on this list, but this is the majority of my favorites. Let's get going. So the first book on this list is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I know I've said before that I love all of Jane Austen's novels, which I do, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably choose this one, not just because it's her most popular, but because it's the one that got me into reading Jane Austen. Though I will say my favorite passage by Jane Austen is not in Pride and Prejudice, it is in Persuasion. It's the letter from Captain Wentworth to Anne. I just literally swoon every time I read it. It's just great. The next in my list of favorites is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. I don't know what it is about this book that really drew me into it, considering it's about a firefighter who burns books, and the thought of hurting a book almost physically pains me. There's just something I think about his storytelling, and just it was probably the first different world that I'd really read. Most books I read at this time were something that could be set in this time frame. It could be something that could actually have happened. The next book in my list of favorites is Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I just love this story, probably because it's one of the first big plot twists that I'd ever really read, but I just dropped this book. Also, the copy is just so old. I think I got it at like a yard sale for like 50 cents. Smells like old book. I just think it's gorgeous. What is next? So the next book I have for you is a little bit more contemporary. It is Dreamland by Sarah Dessen. This is just one that I think I found at like Goodwill, and I'd heard about her, but I never really read much from her, so I thought I'd pick it up just to see what it was like. And I think I read it one summer just because I was like, I need something to read. We'll go with this one. And it was so different than what I suspected. It was one of those that I couldn't put down just because I wanted to know what had happened to her. There was just something about this book that I just loved. There's my contemporary. I do actually read them. The next book I have on this list is The House of the Scorpion by Nancy Farmer. Now, I don't usually read science fiction, but I was in a book club when I was in middle school, and this was one of the books that we read, and it was just another one that just grabbed me, and I couldn't put it down. 9 times out of 10, I was usually never up to reading as much as everybody else was. I could never get to the checkpoints fast enough. I'm just a slow reader to begin with. But for this one, I'm pretty sure I read beyond what we were supposed to. I just kept reading and kept reading and kept reading. And then the next thing I knew was at the end of it, this one, for some reason, freaking love this one. So the next book on my favorites list is A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. This one I actually will admit that I watched the movie first. I never really heard of this book until we watched the movie. My parents were like, you would actually really, really like this. And I did. It's got the main character is, oh my gosh, what's her name? Oh, the main actress is Helena Bonham Carter, and Maggie Smith is in it. And there's a ton more names that I'm totally blanking on right now. It's set in Edwardian England. The next book I have for you is The American Heiress by Daisy Goodwin. I think this book came at a time where I was in a slump and I had read a lot of books that were okay or not great. So then I picked this one up and it was probably exactly what I needed. It's a fun, you can go through it really, really fast. There's a little bit of mystery, we'll say. The ending. It's a good one. Oh yes. The next book I have for you is The Queen's Fool by Philippa Gregory. This one took me, like a year to finish, just because I started it one Christmas and then I went away to college and then I came back and I picked it up again and then I went back to college. It was just, I'd never had time. But finally I sat down and I finished this, and my goodness, it was good. I'm a huge fan. I really like Philippa Gregory. I have all of her Tudor England books. Yes, there's like 17 and I have all of them. I just really enjoyed this book. The next book on my list of favorites is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Obviously you can tell there's a lot of love in it. I didn't read this book until I was in middle school, so I had seen the movie a couple times, so I knew what the story was about. But there's something about her writing that made it just so much more visual to me. Obviously I've read it a lot and I couldn't put it down when I was. I did read it for class. Every day we had to read X amount of chapters, and I think I just kept going and got really confused in class, but it's fine. It was a good one, and I'm a huge fan. So the next book is kind of, I consider it my guilty pleasure of the list, and that is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. I was kind of a fan of the Twilight books. My love for them has kind of dwindled over the years, but when she wrote this one, I could not put it down. Loved it. It got to the point where I think it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and my roommate woke up to me like sitting in my bed crying. This ending breaks you, but like in a good way. To me, it has a very satisfying ending. It's just a very beautiful story, in my personal opinion. So the next book on my list is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. I cannot rave enough about this book. If you have not read this book, please, 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 please pick it up. So the next book that is on my favorites list is a series, but I can't hold them all up, so we're going to go with this one, and that is the Harry Potter series. I'm a huge, huge fan of Harry Potter. It's a huge part of my life, but I basically grew up with him. It's definitely one of the series that I grasped onto first. It's kind of part of my identity. Most people, the first thing they learn about me is that I like Harry Potter, so I talk a lot about it. Sorry. I can balance. The next one on my awesome list here is Before I Go to Sleep by S.J. Watson. This is another book that I picked up after I was in a slump. I am probably one of the slowest readers in the world. I think I finished this book in like 2 days. It's so incredibly good. And I think, again, one of the big things about this book that I liked was the giant plot twist at the end. It's just, I don't know, I didn't see it coming. Well, that is all I have for you guys today. I'm sure I've missed something. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed some of my favorites. If you liked any of these, let me know. If you didn't like any of these, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what some of your favorite books are. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see some more bookishly nerdy fun stuff from me. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!